In this training module, we're going to be discussing campaign bidding strategies and placement settings. These are two topics that are highly important for how you're doing bid optimizations and the level of control that you have over your account spend. This topic ties very closely into the coming lesson on keyword bidding. But for now, we just want to lay the groundwork for that by first breaking down the main components that go into optimizing your bidding strategies and placement settings. Bidding is a critical component to Amazon ads, and if you can master the logical frameworks that go into it, you can play a much larger role in driving success for your clients. To review, we'll start by discussing bidding strategies. Bidding strategies are a campaign level setting that dictate the flexibility that you give Amazon to change your bids in order to win bidding auction placements. There are 3 bidding strategies. They are dynamic up and down, dynamic down only, and fixed bids. We'll start with dynamic up and down. Dynamic up and down allows Amazon to raise your bids by a max of 100% in real time when you may be more likely to convert to a sale. And it'll lower your bids when you're less likely to receive a sale. Now, how Amazon's algorithm determines that is unknown, but this setting typically allows for more flexibility in spend and can be used in less budget-sensitive situations. Dynamic up and down is highly effective for high growth-oriented businesses with strong margins because it allows you to be more competitive in search queries, earn more visibility, and ultimately capture more sales. However, using this bidding strategy usually comes at a higher cost. And this is one of the biggest downsides to using dynamic up and down. It's a lot harder to dial in your bids because no matter where you set your bid, you're giving Amazon the control to increase your bid by up to 100%, so essentially double your bid. If you lower the bid, you may lose a bunch of placements, and that increase is no longer enough to keep you competitive. But if you raise it, you're not going to be as profitable as you want. So you can see how this is kind of a double-edged sword. You can see how this one could get a little out of control real fast if you're not careful. And if you layer on a poorly set placement adjustment, dynamic up and down looks even worse. It can certainly be tricky when using this bidding strategy, but there is certainly a time and place for it. Now for dynamic down only. Dynamic down only basically makes sure that whatever bid you set, you never exceed. And Amazon's algorithm will reduce your bids in real time when you're less likely to win a sale. It basically just ensures that you'll never exceed your bid to earn a click. Unless, of course, you have a placement modification set. In most cases, this setting is more favorable to use simply due to the fact that it gives you more control over your bid caps, and Amazon won't influence the max effective bid other than through the placement settings that you have set. Now, fixed bids are exactly how they sound. Amazon uses your exact bid and any manual placement adjustment and won't change your bids based on the likelihood of a sale. This doesn't mean that you'll always pay that amount for the placement. The auction is still second price, but you're basically not giving Amazon any input on your real-time bidding. With fixed bids, Amazon also won't be reducing your bids when it deems your product as not likely to convert. So you can be more confident that the results you're seeing are truly an effect of your bid and less of an effect from the algorithm. This allows for more definitive bidding and gives you maximum control over bids when it's hyper important. A common situation where fixed bids come in handy is when you're either doing a product launch or running ranking campaigns where you want to control your bids more closely. You want to ensure that you're winning certain placements. With fixed bids, you can be sure that Amazon's algorithm isn't going to override any bid settings when you're more focused on driving top of search visibility. Now, let's talk about placements. Placements are not to be confused with targeting, which is your keywords, audiences, and products that you're targeting with your ads. Placements are a different thing. Placements are the inventory that your ads actually fill in the search result pages. They are where your ads are placed. For placements, the first thing you need to understand is that there are a few different spots where ads appear on search results and product pages. We're able to tell Amazon to bid differently across different placements using a simple percentage increase tool inside your Amazon Ads UI. This helps us optimize our bids according to our highest performing placements. For sponsored products, the placement options are top of search, product pages, and rest of search. And at the time of this recording, Amazon just released the rest of search bid modification option, but it's only currently available through the API. Now, we've been fortunate enough that we've got a chance to test it, and it's an absolute game changer. Our insiders at Amazon told us that the changes should be soon reflected in the UI as well, so you may be seeing it in there now when you're watching this. Anyway, back to placements. To analyze your placement performance, you can go through the console or you can go through Amazon's reporting dashboard. In the UI, you'll find this by clicking into a campaign and going under the Placements tab. Amazon reporting allows us to get a campaign level view of the performance of each placement, and we can even break that out for any metric day by day. In the later Excel lessons, I will show you how you can create charts and graphs to see how your metrics across each of those placements are trending over time, so that you can see if your changes are making the right impact. So stay tuned for that. It's an exciting one. Excel is going to be super powerful for you. Generally, after working on accounts for several years, we see that top of search is often the highest converting and highest clicked placement. Conversion rates can be as much as 50% higher in some cases, sometimes even more. Click-through rates are dramatically higher at top of search. We also see that top of search is one of the most expensive placements, with CPCs being sometimes even 100% higher than rest of search placements. So if it's more expensive to win top of search, but top of search is the best converting and highest clicked placement to deliver ads, it's important that you have a framework for setting your base bids in accordance with the bidding strategies that you're using and the placement modifiers that you're setting. You need to be able to optimize your CPCs, optimize your spend to your target CPC across each placement. When placement performance varies, which it always does, we have to be able to set our base bids in accordance with our worst performing placement and then re-increase for the other placements based on the relative performance differences between the placements. That way, our worst performing placements are bidding lower, and we are still able to win those top of search placements with the specific increase to only the top of search placement or the rest of search placement now. All of these factors work in tandem with one another to net out to your final bid. And you need to know how to use each in combination with one another to make it effective. Now that we've reviewed the different campaign bidding strategies and placement modifiers, and we have a good understanding of both, and we now understand how they influence one another, we can dig into a couple of examples to illustrate the point. Let's jump over to the whiteboard real quick and dive in.